Welcome to the Movies and Porn episode of You Name It. Ryan's not with us again this week, but we have Mike and we also have Davin.
Hello.
Greetings and salutations.
Greetings and salutations, he says. But Movies and Porn, what a title, huh?
It's a wonderful title.
Stupid. So the reason why it's called that is because in Garden City, Michigan, we had a neighborhood theater. And this neighborhood theater didn't show the kind of movies that you thought they should show.
Not after the 80s, pretty much. The late 70s and 80s. Before that, it was a grand theater, the La Parisienne.
Yes, which means something in French that I don't know what it is. But, Davin, did you have a neighborhood theater, or in Royal Oak, were you guys allowed to have that or not?
No, they didn't have any of that. That was more down by 8 Mile.
It wasn't a porn theater, though. You know, it was... do you know what a Grindhouse theater is?
Explain it.
Okay, well, maybe Mike's the movie historian, so maybe it's better if Mike tells us.
Okay. A Grindhouse theater was a theater that played primarily exploitation, sexploitation, kung fu movies. Blaxploitation. Basically a lot of the drive-in stuff. And they called it a Grindhouse because they would just... These movies would come in. They'd sometimes change movies midweek. If the movie wasn't performing, they'd pull it out and put 2 more movies. The most famous, these theaters are most famous in New York, in the areas that are no longer there because they were all cleaned up, the 42nd Street and those areas. They were notorious for being very seedy. You could be robbed in the bathroom. People openly masturbated in the theater.
Yeah.
The seats were filthy. Hookers would be performing on their johns. Just a real nasty place. But it was the only place to really go to see the horror films and the exploitation films and all the stuff. Because in New York City, there's not a lot of drive-ins, so
right.
This is where this was the equivalent. And the term Grindhouse comes from that. Even Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez made a film a couple years ago called Grindhouse, and they made an homage they each made a film like a Grindhouse film.
Homage.
Homage.
If you're going to go to the La Parisienne, you better say homage.
Oui, oui.
Used to oui. So you never got to go to a Grindhouse, Davin. You're not lucky like we were.
Actually, I think I saw one of those Quentin Tarantino ones with Kurt Russell in it.
Yeah,
that was a killer.
What was it called? Yep. Death Car or something?
Yep.
Something like that?
Yep.
Am I right about that?
It's. I feel bad. I don't.
Yeah,
I think it is Death Car.
See, welcome to the show again. Yeah. You always lose any reference to anything as soon as you talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, he would pick up girls in bars and then take them in his car and then kill them, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but it was all designed to look like a 1974 style shitty movie.
Yeah, they even had fake trailers in the theater when you saw it. Fake trailers, and actually one of them ended up being made. The Machete films. Machete was a fake trailer that eventually has now spawned 2 films, and they're about to shoot production.
You mean Machete?
Machete. And Machete in Space is about to go into production.
Space.
So that's going to be really fun. I happen to enjoy the films, but
yeah. We were fortunate enough I would be 12 years old and sneak into these movies too. I remember this is a vague memory. Mike's probably going to be able to tell you exactly what movie it was, but I remember we would go in. We wanted the horror movies, but one of them, it was always a double feature. And one of them was like some bizarre Italian cop movie where what I remember is they had a fight scene where someone got their face smashed through a pinball machine's glass top.
It's Streets of Death, I believe, is the name of it.
Streets of Death from Italy.
Yeah, but that was, that's what it was the American title. But I don't.
They were always dubbed too. There was no subtitles. It was always horrible dubbing. Yeah. It was hilarious.
But that was, I don't know. That's how I became such a film fan. I saw so many films there. It was a one screen theater, and one summer they got Rocky II in.
Yeah,
and I think Rocky II may have been the last normal film that played there, because that summer after Rocky played for the whole summer, it was depressing. I saw it a couple times. Not that it's a bad film, but once or twice was enough. But the whole summer it played. Then they shut the theater down, and when it was shut down, they reconstructed it or made it into 2 screens.
Yeah.
So
a multiplex.
Right. So one of the screens still would play first run stuff, But the other screen would always be the latest exploitation films, and it would always be a double feature.
It was a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was
Bruce Lee movies and shit like that.
yeah, it was constant. And I saw so many horror films. The film Zombie, Lucille Fulci's Zombie, I saw it there, and for weeks the poster was in the window, this rotting corpse with worms crawling out of it. I would, on my way to pick up my papers for my paper route, I would stop and just stare into that into the window and stare at that poster, and I can't wait for that to come out. And when it came out, I went with I wasn't with Jerry on that one. Jerry was up north that weekend.
Yes.
And I went with some
Up
other
north is what they call it in Michigan when you go to your family's vacation place.
Yep. And I went with some other people who weren't so into it. The film Roadie with Meatloaf and Alice Cooper and Blondie and all that was playing in the other theater. They wanted to see that, but there was no way. I said, I'm seeing Zombie. I've waited weeks to see it. So we bought our ticket. Actually, to get our tickets, we had to have an old lady that was standing in line. She bought our tickets for us because it was a unrated film. It wasn't even rated R. It was unrated, which they don't do that much anymore because of the rating system. But she bought our tickets. We went in and sat next to her. As soon as it got dark, we excused ourselves and went to our own seats. 5 minutes into the film, there's an incredibly gory scene. The two other guys get up and say, I'm not going to watch this. This is stupid. And I'm sitting there going, what am I going to do? So I follow them out of the theater.
Well, you were 12 years old.
Yeah, I follow them out of the theater, and I'm standing there. I'm like, I'm seeing this film. And they're like, well, I hope it's over by the time where ours is over. So they left me, and I went back in the theater and watched it alone.
Yeah, because you couldn't just walk home alone.
And I didn't know where to sit, so I sat in the very back row, and I didn't realize when I sat down there's this enormous, smelly, heavy-breathing old man was sitting like 3 seats down from me, and
Sort of like me now.
yeah, and he wasn't doing anything, but he just really was creepy. But that's my zombie story. It's just and then I think me and Jerry went back the next week and saw it after he got home.
Yeah. Hey, Devin, where are you at? Because it was a little noisy there. You want to explain that to us?
Oh, I'm on the loading dock now, but I'm actually in Denver on the auto show floor.
Wow. It's almost like everybody's there with you now. All the listeners enjoying that spectacle.
It's such a phenomenal show. I love when people ask you about what's the hottest car. No, I don't even. You just beeline for your booth and you don't pay attention.
People do that too. This is something you'll understand about the auto show, Mike. People go there to see the cars.
Right.
We don't.
Yeah.
We just go there to work. People are like, "Hey, did you see the new?"
I would go to People Watch myself because I don't really I'm not into cars, but it's probably a great place to people watch.
We won't get too far away from our main topic, but Davin's a genius at people watching, and he'll actually. If you guys should do friends on Facebook because you'll be able to see it. He goes through. There's a show in Cleveland, and Cleveland has a special night that Davin loves.
Right.
What is it, Davin?
Well, they have their charity preview is not like anyone else's. It's like dealer night. So all the dealers get free tickets to the show. It's like a sneak peek.
Yeah.
And what they do is they give out all the dealerships tickets. So you got the guy who changes oil at the Ford dealership and his cousins all showing up to the auto show on this charity night.
Yeah. So
you
it's
got guys.
Yeah. It's not just like dealers. It's actually friends and family of all the dealers.
Yeah, guys that change tires, all this. Every single double wide in the Cleveland area is empty that night.
Right.
And if you know the history of Cleveland, and I have
the
a
history
theory
of
on
Cleveland,
this, the river caught on fire.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know.
And
that.
from all the chemicals in it. Well, what happened was the fire department couldn't put it out, so they let it burn out, and it took 3 days to burn out.
Okay.
Well, that was back in the 70s. And that was also the drinking water. So,
Oh boy.
so now, flash forward, these people are the ones that are showing up on the auto show.
It's like that website, The People of Walmart, and Davin's got pictures of all these people.
People with ticks, kids on leashes.
Yeah.
Kids on leashes. I haven't seen that in a while.
Mullets. Oh, the kids on leashes is great.
Yeah.
It's like, how bad does your parenting have to be when you have to put your kid on a leash like a dog?
Right.
And how many times is that wrapped up around somebody in a scooter somehow, too?
But then again, their parenting, their kids could be going and seeing these kind of movies.
That's right.
Yeah.
Did you have... So you didn't get to go see like, for instance, one of the movies that I remember, it was actually a first run movie, but I remember going to La Parisienne to see, was The Warriors. Did you guys have that out there where you lived?
No, we had
Didn't even get that one.
Yeah, that's pretty mainstream.
no, we had a drive-in theater that's now Manjin Lao Chinese restaurant.
What was it called back then, though?
God, it was in Troy.
I'm trying to remember.
Probably the Troy Drive-In.
No, just basic name. Because
But I remember
we would all
packing
read.
people in the trunk
Oh yeah.
and try sneaking in.
But they had first run movies for your date. It would be like Prince in his Purple Rain movie is what you were going to see, right?
Yeah,
I actually
it
saw
wasn't
that at the drive-in.
It wasn't the nasty ones. There's no drive-ins around anymore. It kind of sucks.
There's the Ford, Wyoming drive-in down in Detroit, which isn't that bad. I went last summer at 3 a.m. to watch a Wolverine movie.
3 a.m.
Yeah. So I guess I should rephrase it. It's not that bad down there when you're drunk at 3 a.m.
I went to lots of drive-ins back then, but I didn't really like to see horror films at drive-ins because, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but horror films are generally dark. And drive-ins are miserable to try and watch a film that's in the dark. I mean, watching something like Evil Dead or something, which I saw on a drive-in screen and in a movie screen. That's why I'm so thankful for La Parisienne being there because we got everything.
Yeah, every shitty horror movie from 1978 on, we saw it.
And every once in a while, they'd bring something back from the 70s on the double feature and try and resell it. Like a film called Horror on Snape Island, which was from like 72, that they put out as Beyond the Fog, trying to cash in on John Carpenter's The Fog around that time.
Oh, yeah.
And we fell for it. But I think once we got watching it, we realized, this looks old.
Why does this movie seem like it's 10 years old?
And why does everybody speak with a British accent?
Right. But The Warriors was kind of funny for me because when you're in junior high and there's always this big deal about having to be as manly as you possibly can because otherwise everybody would call you gay back then and freak out. So you're always trying to avoid an excuse to call you gay. But the double feature was, what was it called? American Gigolo?
Oh, I remember that.
With The Warriors. So in order to see The Warriors, you're wading through American Gigolo, which I went in and bought the ticket and realized that the other guys didn't go to the first show. They were going to come in at the time for The Warriors, and I was already there trying to hide the fact that I sat through a Richard Gere movie about a gigolo. What are you doing in here, gay boy?
I love it when all the porns come out after the real movie, like Romancing the Bone.
Oh, yeah. All the fake porn movie names.
Yeah, I worked in a video store during the heyday. I worked in a video store starting in 80s, 85, 86, and worked for it all through college and even after college a little bit. But yeah, the adult room we had, the titles, there were always spoofs on the movies. And it's hilarious some of the stuff they got away with.
See, we're already on porn.
Edward Penis Hands and...
What else? There's got to be a couple more.
Oh, there's tons. You said Romancing the Bone. I mean, I'd have to think about it, but there's just tons of them. I mean, Bootsy came out in spoof of Tootsie.
Yep.
How about Close Encounters? That must have been one of those.
But then some of the weird stuff, like Yank My Doodle, It's a Dandy.
Yank My Doodle, It's a dandy. God.
Well, my first experience with porn was actually at Peschla's house.
Peschla was mentioned in a previous episode.
Yeah, Kevin Foley. He was the bad kid that my mom didn't want me hanging out with. But his dad owned a tool and die shop and was an alcoholic and had a Betamax with porn.
A Betamax.
Oh, you started right at the video, right on video.
Oh yeah, back when it. Yep, he had some 8mm stuff and sleep over his house, and his parents were never home. I don't get that either.
They were always out drinking.
Yeah, it must have been.
Peschla.
Hanging out watching some of those movies.
Peschla and his drunken parents.
Yeah, they were out at the Moose Club. No,
Moose Knuckle.
The Moose Knuckle Lodge.
The Moose Knuckle Lodge. No, we used to have a park in our area over by Jerry's house. Actually, it used to be called Maplewood Park, but now I think it's Kiwanis Park. But there was
that's the porn name.
You could just find, and there was an area called the Hills, which was across the street a little ways. And you could always guarantee you would find porn in bag. I'm talking magazines because that was probably mine and Jerry's first.
Anybody our age,
yeah,
because there's no internet and nobody had VHS. So the only thing that existed was porn magazines.
Yeah. So it'd be like a treasure. And I don't know what the code of ethics was, if you're supposed to just go there and look at them. But I broke the code all the time because when I found them, I brought them home. Hid them in the garage or, would sneak them in the house. And now I think about it now. There's no way in the world I would bring somebody else's used porn that if I didn't know the person.
Let alone pick it up.
Yeah, pick it up. My first VHS, I found in the same area. I found a videotape of a Vanessa Del Rio film, an early film, horrible film.
He's a critic of
the women were very bushy. The women were very bushy then. No, let's put it that way. But brought it home. It was the first time I ever saw porn. And I popped it in, and I'm surprised, as picky as I am about my stuff, that I put that into my VCR. Not knowing there could have been a centipede crawling around from laying out in the swamp where I found it.
It's all wrinkled up because it was out in the moisture. Did you have that? Did you ever find the glorious bag of porn, David?
Oh yeah, my dad used to subscribe to Playboy.
That doesn't count.
And that's the whole thing. I thought that was it, and then we found a spot in the woods, like there was woods that all the kids would go to and shoot bottle rockets and hang out, and there was like a little campsite, and someone left a bunch of porn there, and it was Penthouse and some of those other magazines that would come in like the 3-pack special.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, okay, we got to build a treasure chest to keep
Swank.
this stuff in.
Those were the three, David: Cherry, Swank, and High Society.
Don't forget Genesis.
God, that's the same. I remember one time we were walking in Maplewood Park, myself and another person. I won't bring into it just in case they don't want it known by their families. But we're walking in the park, and some kid comes riding up on his bike, and he had a paper grocery bag filled with porn, and he just drops it on the ground in front of us and says, "Here you go, guys," and then turns around and drives away. It was like, he's probably 3 or 4 years older than we were on a bike.
It was like a stork. He was the porn stork.
We're just looking at each other like, what just happened? We look in there, it's just full of porn, and then of course you have to start the divvy up.
The divvy up, and no matter what you had planned that day, suddenly everybody had to go home.
It's all changed. Well, there's nowhere to keep it at home, though, either.
But you wanted to look at it, and
bathroom doors are locked around the whole neighborhood.
Combing my hair all day long. But I remember because I couldn't take it in the house. Where are you going to put it in the house? Plus, it smelled like rotting magazines.
Yeah, it did. It smelled bad. I had a neighbor who her son passed away, and I was helping her out by going over there and cleaning the basement and everything. And I found like a mountain of like her sons.
A pornucopia.
She had three sons, and the other two had gone on. The other one had passed away. But there was along the wall, there was a box. I pulled it out.
Was her name Chip? Never mind.
No. But there was probably a stack 3 feet tall, like three stacks 3 feet tall each. And it slowly became a deal where when I would go over there, I went over during the day because I had a key, and she would let me do my work and lock her house up. I slowly started taking all that porn, and within a couple of weeks, I had it all. I'd throw it over the fence into my yard, then later go out that night and get it. I had it for about 6 months until my mother discovered my stash. And one day, I got home from school and was greeted with the scolding mother routine, and she had thrown my sacred porn out. So I had this. It was horrible. It was a horrible day in my life.
That's funny.
She threw away all.
There was one called Jugs magazine, wasn't there?
Oh, yeah.
Jugs.
Double D.
And then Easy Rider had some provocative stuff.
That's right.
A lot of tattooed stuff and piercings that weren't really popular back then.
Right. Yeah, you mentioned that. I remember my dad has this friend who's a biker guy, and I would have to go with my dad occasionally over to that guy's house when they would work on a car, trying to fix it for whatever reason. And but I realized that he had a giant stack of biker magazines, and they were just chock full of boobs all over the place in the Easy Rider and Iron Horse and all that kind of stuff. And you could get away with buying those too if you were 11 years old. You could buy an Easy Rider magazine; they'd sell it to you. National Lampoon was the first time I bought a magazine because it had boobs in it.
We used to try. We used to have a store called the Book Nook. Yeah. That we'd go to buy our regular magazines and books, paperbacks, stuff like that. But that's the first place in Garden City, I think, that had a porn section. And you had to be 18 or older to go back there. They would occasionally put like they would put like the Playboys and stuff like that out on the main rack. You didn't have to go back in the adult area where they had the sex toys and everything. But
Weird. Hang on. Someone's
No.
beeping in. Is that your phone or mine, Davin?
No, it was mine. I was getting another phone call, but I didn't click over.
That's weird that we would hear that.
oh, but anyway, we would go in there often, and I would try to buy Playboys or Penthouse or something or a Hustler, and they would always, we know you're not 18.
Well, of course, because you were 13.
Yeah, but on my 18th birthday, I went in there and I bought my first magazines, and then the lady was all set to give me hell, and I showed her my ID, and she had to sell it to me. So, and it's funny, that location has since become a porn shop, basically. I mean, it became an adult boutique, and now they're pretty much just a porn shop.
Are they? I don't even know what they are.
They're still there. I don't frequent it, but I drive by it when I go to the drugstore, which is right by there.
Be honest, Davin, when you turned 18, did you go get some porn?
Yes, I did.
What was that story?
Of course I did. No, it was just it was probably one of those 3-packs that I picked up. But,
Did you guys have a
that was
store like that, or did you have to go like in public to 7-Eleven or something?
No, it was like a 7-Eleven type thing.
I remember the 3-packs. The 3-packs can be disappointing, though. You get the one on the cover that just looks so fantastic, but the other two would be...
Oh, the middle one was
Yeah.
garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be something ridiculous.
Lovely grannies.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Shit they wanted to get rid of.
Yeah. It'd be like,
Might have been midget porn, though, right?
little people.
Oh,
Little people, please.
you know that-
Nice.
Midget porn. Midgets rock. On that note,
Yeah. Devin's known for his affinity for little people.
you know what? And the sad part is I'm really not, but now everyone thinks I am.
Well, you told this is why, because this is an actual conversation I had with Davin. I said, Chris Harwood says that you are really into midget porn. I mean, is that just a joke, or do you really want to fuck him? And then he goes, I really want to fuck him. Like, still messing with me. I had to say the F-bomb, though. Fuck him.
Well, it started at Showtech. And
Yeah.
we I don't know, we were loading a truck or something, and I started coming up with great things to do with midgets.
Great. Here we go. We're going to get in big trouble on this show. Now.
Little people,
But it
please.
was
Yeah.
it was like, Lindy, the warehouse guy, was getting old, getting close to retirement, and he would keep like all his files under his desk, and he'd have to bend over every day to get his files. I'm like, you need a midget for that. And a light bulb went on in his office. I'm like, you need a midget for that. Why walk out and get a ladder? You just put a midget on your shoulders, change the light bulb, you're all set. So we started talking about all the things you can do with midgets, and the fact you can get them at half price.
You know they are real people.
Because, ever since Wizard of Oz, there really hasn't been that many midgets out there.
You're going to get Matt Roloff on you.
Yeah, there was. There's that show on that reality show about the little people family.
Yeah, and I actually know the wife. The wife is from Michigan. She went to the church I went to as a kid. She was the first little person I ever saw. And
Do you know the show we're talking about?
Little People, Big World.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It's your favorite show. Yeah.
I've actually watched every episode. To be honest.
People send me stuff every week about midgets. I get at least a midget picture a week sent to me. Just randomness. I bet lighting guys I haven't worked with in maybe 14 years, I'll get a phone call. Hey, turn on channel such and such. I'll click it on and midgets.
Well, how do you like your life?
I've seen some very beautiful little people before, so I wouldn't rule it out. No, an equal opportunity person.
Davin, meet Mike. You guys are both twisted.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
a little different.
Supposedly, there's a midget community that they built outside of San Diego.
Yeah, I've heard of
when they were
that.
filming Wizard of Oz. Yeah,
Yep.
there's like only one way in and one way out, but they're all little houses. Every time I go to that town, I don't have a rental car, but I'm dying to go.
Oh, I would go. I would definitely want to see that.
Get in a cab. Take me to the little place.
Just like in
What are you talking
Florida.
about?
I'd like to go to where the circus people live down in Florida. I'd love to go to one of those communities and talk to those people and see them. And
How do we get all the way over to midgets?
little people.
From porn. It goes right from porn. to
From
midgets.
porn, of course. Porn was supposed to be led in by the fact that the La Parisienne Theater would show
Yeah.
like some bizarre movies that what were those called
Oh,
again?
yeah, the soft rated R films like
No, not
like,
that, but
oh,
like you had a different name for them. Because of this one director put out all this different ones. There was a category for them that was Like they were trying to make porn movies, chop them up into real movies or something.
Oh, no, they would just be the toned down. They'd be the stuff you'd see like on Showtime at night. You know how Showtime did never play explicit porn?
Right.
Even like, I don't even know if like Night Owl Theater on TV played the explicit stuff. I don't know if they kept that toned down, but
They did pretty well on Night Owl Theater.
Did they? Okay, yeah.
They didn't do full-on porn, but they had, full frontal everything.
You can tell by penetration. If there's no penetration, then it's softcore. That's how you tell the difference. That's the thing with the magazines too. The magazines, when we first started looking at them in the early '80s, late '70s, there was no penetration. You know what I mean? It's just you could see the progression. You know,
they blame that on Hustler though.
Yeah, Hustler. Yeah, Hustler definitely. He pushed the envelope. That was very risky, the stuff he did. I mean,
risque. La Parisienne.
Risque. Oui, oui.
Homage. Come on, let's remember our French. As long as we're on the porn episode, it has to be the French episode.
But it's just weird because it was La Parisienne started playing horror films, then they would play, kung fu stuff. They would play the softcore stuff. They would play just the weirdest stuff. And then all of a sudden, it just became nonstop softcore. And that was towards the end. I don't remember that, though. Yeah, that was towards the very end. And that was sad because by that point, both screens were playing that kind of stuff, and it was impossible for us to buy tickets because we were still, underage, or maybe we were at the age. Maybe I just didn't want to go see it at softcore, So it wasn't horror, so I wasn't doing it. Plus, it eventually closed. It just closed abruptly one summer. It was done, and now it's a naval recruiting place. And it's just so weird to see it
in the Navy.
But the marquee is gone. But it's just, and I regret never getting the picture taken in front of the marquee because that's the place that shaped my film interest. And I went to school for filmmaking, and it's always been my thing.
When's your first softcore porn coming out, Mike?
It already has. No, just joking. Just kidding. Yes. No.
Neighborhoods hate those places, though, don't they? They just protest the hell out of them, and not in my neighborhood.
Not back then. It was really left alone.
Yeah, nobody really, because they were still, during the peak point, they were still playing like, I remember Tess, Roman Polanski's Tess played there, which was our art house film, and The Elephant Man, which played there at one time.
Yeah, they did the redo of Close Encounters with the extra footage. I remember going to see that.
Which we followed. This is the story. We followed Jerry's brother. Jerry's brother was on a date with Ryan, the co-host here.
Well, they weren't dating each other.
No. They each had a girlfriend.
Yeah, they were twin sisters.
Twin sisters, yeah. And they were and he had no idea. Me and Jerry got this idea. We both wanted to see the Close Encounters special edition, so we followed her.
Extra 7 minutes of Inside the Spaceship.
Yeah, that was well worth it.
And what did we do? We went in, bought our ticket, and sat directly behind Herb and Ryan, and probably embarrassed the hell out of them. I know we probably got socked in the arm afterwards or something, because I know we were sitting there.
Socked in the arm. Let's be real.
We were sitting there with Kleenexes up our nose, just acting, making noises, just being as obnoxious as we could, just to try and ruin their date.
One of the things I love to do is, because you've seen the movie before, is yell what's going to happen before it happens. We just yell in the theater, "Watch out, the door's going to fly open."
We used to do.
Well, you wouldn't even have to do that if you brought Ryan to a movie that he's already seen. He'd tell you about it before it ended.
And before the bubbles in the crazy jazz music left the screen and the movie started, you already know the whole thing. Because we had that too. We had Al Hurt music,
right?
And they put a psychedelic bubble machine that they'd shine a light through, so it was projected on the screen, and it would be. Yeah,
we had Al Hurt and Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass. So it's in the James Bond themes. We had the James Bond would be a Goldfinger, and it's just like.
How boring was it? They've really upped their game at the theaters nowadays, because back then that's what you got. Shitty music with bubbles on the screen, waiting for the thing to start. Now they've got quizzes and commercials.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch commercials.
Right.
But do you remember how horrible it was to get there like a half hour before it started and just sit there waiting?
The funny thing is, I now own Al Hurt music and Herb Albert music on my iPad.
It's what you write your pornography scripts to.
I like the music, because it brings back memories. It's just. I don't know. Those were great times. And, we used to go and just sit in these rickety old... They had rocking chairs at this theater, too. They were rocking seats. But they were old and they were kind of worn out. And you know what? I'll take that any day over this new stuff they have. I don't need vibrating
You're out of your
seats.
mind.
I don't need people waiting on me, bringing me food. I don't need reclining seats. I think if you want to do all that, stay home. That's what I say.
You're out of your gourd.
No, see, I don't like all that.
You've let nostalgia take over your brain. I just
No.
went and saw the movie, and it was in the reclining giant leather seat, and it was awesome.
Did you pay extra to sit in those?
No,
seats?
it's a $5 matinee.
Really?
Yeah.
I was under the impression they charge extra for that stuff.
Was it one of the motion seats, like at the casino, where you can turn the motion up?
No, that's called D-box.
Yeah, D-box
seating.
is, yeah.
And that's what I like to call douche box because it's so stupid. Because it's annoying like a douche.
Yeah, D-box. I tried that out one time. It shook me up so bad I had to run to the restroom.
Not me. I just got. This is what it was. I watched that last Riddick movie. Is that what they were called?
Yeah.
With Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
So I go there expecting all this fantastic, like thrill ride shit from the D-box seat, and all it felt like was a kid kicking my chair the whole movie.
Well, the thing is, Jerry, you probably were thinking like Vegas, like when we go to the massage chairs.
Yeah.
Now that if they could hook that fucker up inside of a porn theater,
That's right.
You'd be all in.
I talked you into that one, didn't I?
Yes, you did. It was the
Walking
best $5 we ever spent.
At the circus, no less. Yeah, we were walking on our way out, and I see these massage chairs, and they go, "Let's try this out." And we both were like, "Let's do it again."
Is 3D still a big thing? Because in all honesty, I don't ever buy a ticket for the 3D movies. I'm not into the 3D in the theaters.
I love them, but
No.
I see the downfall of the 3D movie.
Yeah,
And the TVs, it's all a fad. It's like the curved TVs nowadays too. It's all whatever.
First time I saw him was that trip to Vegas. Me and Davin were walking. They had a giant, larger than the La Parisienne Theater billboard that filled up like, I don't know how big that thing. You know how big that stupid thing was? It was huge, and it was for the new Ultra HD curved screen.
You don't think the curved screens are going to last? They look beautiful though, but
Well, we were going, why?
yeah.
Why do they need to be
What's the
curved?
point?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there a real? You should know.
Well, even the sound bars I see are curved too. You got to buy a curved sound bar.
Why?
Yep.
Yeah, because
I don't get it.
And so the asshole on the very end, sitting on the shitty couch, not in the master chair, can actually see the TV.
Right.
Without the owner of the home actually having to move the couch or turn the TV.
Right.
The asshole on the
And
end.
they're incredibly expensive. I mean,
Yeah.
Best Buy has this $8,000 TV that I go and just look at every time, like it's a god I'm worshiping or something. You know, I just stand there in front of it, and they're all, "Can we wrap one up for you, sir?" And it's like, not in my lifetime.
Only cost you $18,000 for this TV.
And it's not going to look that way when I get it to my house, you know, because I don't have a team of technicians setting it up to look beautiful.
Why, yes, you do. You can call Davin or I to come over and set up your TV
there
for
you. Go. All right.
If it's curved, though,
give it 2 years, it'll come down in price.
Yeah.
That's how I buy everything used.
Yeah. I wait. I always wait. I can't do the new stuff.
There has to be a reason for the curving. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jerry, you and I are like the mechanics with the broken down cars.
Yeah.
Everyone must think we have the best home theater systems in the world and all this other shit.
Right.
You work with all day and you realize how obsolete it becomes.
You don't want anything to do with it. My main television in my house right now is a Samsung 720p plasma screen that's burned at the bottom.
Does it say OnStar on the bottom?
No, it got burned on the bottom because Lisa watches the local news and she'll leave it on like all day. Like she even records it and then she'll pause it and turn it back on, pause it. So the little ticker at the bottom got burned in. I haven't noticed it that much though.
Right. I've got a spot on my TV now that's probably a little bit smaller than a softball. It's not burned out, but it's a lighter. It's lighter. I can see it, especially when it's something white going on with the whole screen goes white. I can really see it. Sometimes it bothers me because.
Well, what kind of TV is it?
It's a Samsung. It's a 40-inch. It's not a plasma. No, it's not a plasma. So I don't know if it's something that could be fixed or if
it shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Gavin, get your degaussing kit and bring it over.
It'll cost you more to fix it than it's worth.
Is it degaussing?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
It used to. Those were tube TVs.
Oh, okay.
Put a magnet on there.
Yeah, I noticed it about
magic gas.
I noticed it about 6 months ago, and I'm just living with it. I just try to pretend it's not there.
Well, that's because you're cheap, like me.
Well, I just don't want to buy another TV right now. And it works. So it's working. But the thing is, if that's the way I am, if that TV died on me tonight, I would have to be out tomorrow buying a new one because I can't be without my TV. It's just there's certain things. Same with the computer. If my computer died, I would have to have a new computer.
These are life's necessities, my friend.
Well, for me, they are. That's my only form of entertainment these days.
I do have one good TV. Oh, go ahead.
And just make sure you let them, when you buy the new stuff, you let them sucker you into the warranty.
Yeah, always do that.
Yeah.
I don't.
Because my VCR, dual VCR, it was VCR and DVD player at the same time. They
Yeah.
suckered me into the warranty. When you look at it, it ended up costing like $113 for the warranty.
Right.
No way,
Unit
really?
the unit at that time was probably
$65.
no, it was like $350 back, when it's brand new.
Okay, you were talking about, yeah, all right.
And now they're so obsolete. It's like you buy a replacement
You can't give
by
them
the time
away.
your warranty's done. Yep.
I don't buy the Best Buy warranties anymore. I have picked up some warranties, but I do these what's called square deal warranties on Amazon. They're a lot cheaper, and they seem to be better warranties. I usually get an extra year out of it. Like for instance, when I bought my iPad, they wanted $350, I think, for the warranty, which is half the price. Almost half the price for the iPad. And I went and bought a square deal one for $98. It covers me for 3 years. Has everything the Best Buy offered. I checked the company out. I made sure it was legit. And they're a pretty big company, but
This message was brought to you by Amazon Square Deal.
yes.
Well, Best Buy screws you now. That if it's the membership thing now, Jerry. Where
They have
a
a
60 days and 30 days and.
Yeah, I just found
Oh,
out
I
that
didn't know about
they
that.
now have membership tiers
really?
for their program. Your My Best Buy program that used to be just Reward Zone, where now you have like different levels, gold and platinum levels.
I'm platinum right now. I don't know why, because I don't spend any money, but they keep telling me I'm platinum. So
They were telling me nothing. They were showing me as just a regular member, and it said you had to spend $1,500 a year there.
Yeah.
And I spent more than that last year.
yeah. Well,
Why are you getting me all mad about it, Davin? What the hell?
no, that's the other thing. They don't give you your points now. If you used to deferred payment, you used to get your points. You
Yeah.
don't get your points anymore. And I'm not a millionaire, so I can't walk in and not get my point or not pay it off right then and there. So I need that 1 year to pay off an object, or 6 months, or whatever it is. So that kind of bothers me.
Yeah.
So-
Well, they suck. That's what they do, because their return policy used to be 30 days, and now it's 15 days.
Oh, it is. I didn't realize that
Yeah.
either.
So unless you're
On
an old member,
on everything,
yeah.
even like a
Unless
Blu-ray or
you're
something.
a-
Well,
member.
they have omissions actually.
Yeah.
So some of them you get less than 15 days,
Oh,
but
didn't
the
know.
standard now is down to 15 days unless you're a gold member, which puts you at 30 days.
Right.
So when I returned I just bought this new computer. I was worried about it until I realized that I was coming home from the road on the 15th day. So I went right there so they couldn't
Right.
screw with me
Yeah.
because they weren't listing me as a gold guy. And you know how we love our status, Dan.
Yeah.
We do. It does pay off.
Yes, gold status. You know what we should do? We should try and just surprise call Jim Broderick on the road and ask him about porn in his day.
Yeah, give him a call.
So you might lose us for a second. Let's see if this works. If it doesn't,
Okay.
then we'll remember 37 minutes in we have to edit out this crap if it doesn't
Right,
work.
right.
So
Right.
hold on. Stand by.
Stand by.
Let's wait for it to connect now.
Yeah.
Hello.
Jim Broderick.
Hello.
Hey, are you there?
Hey. Up. Yeah, what's going on?
You're on the You Name It show with Davin and Mike here.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Hey, how
are
you
we?
doing? How you doing?
Good. Where you at?
I'm in beautiful Edmonton, Canada. What a shithole.
You love Canada.
Ooh,
Tell us all about it.
Oh,
Ryan's not in today, but we figure we'd call you for the show.
oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
we're talking about porn.
Oh, Jesus. Great. What, midget porn or what?
See, I've got a reputation. This is great.
Yes, you do.
We were talking about, I don't know how well it's going to work because I can already tell there's a big delay to get to you in Canada. But we were talking about when you were a kid and you'd find the bag of porn, and we wondered if Jim found one.
Actually, a bag of porn. Let me see. No, not really. I think that's a Davin thing.
Come on, you can't be serious. We used to find it in the
Where
neighborhood.
was the first place you stumbled onto porn?
Good question. Good question.
Uh-oh.
I couldn't even remember that so
Jeez.
long ago.
This isn't a very good phone call, Jim.
Sorry, brother.
Don't be porn shy.
How are the strip clubs in Edmonton?
Oh, this place is horrible. Horrible. I'm telling you, it's the armpit of Canada, believe me. It is just nasty, dirty, filthy.
Is it French?
Sisters Canopy bed?
Shithole.
Is it Sisters
What's
Canopy
that?
bed? Sisters
Oh,
can't be
it's real bad. Oh yeah, yeah. You know it. Yep.
What happens is Jim's out of Chicago, and he's. Are you out of Chicago? Wait a minute. You're from Chicago.
Yes, I am.
Okay, yeah, and he's assigned to go do these Canadian auto shows, so he's stuck in Canada where everybody else gets to be in the States.
Have you done a show in Regina yet?
I'm sorry.
Have you done a show in Regina yet?
Regina.
Canada. That's one of the provinces.
Regina. Nice.
No, that's how it's pronounced.
No,
it really is.
no.
It really is how it's pronounced.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
There's beautiful women there.
I've been to. I went to Montreal. I went to Toronto. I went to Calgary. Calgary to Vancouver, and now I'm in Edmonton. This is the last one. Thank God.
You're picking up the accent, it sounds like.
Eh?
Yeah, I feel like I'm talking to Don Cherry right now.
Or George Cannon.
Eh?
Anyway, Jim,
Bad
we were.
delay on the phone, huh?
Who's away on the phone?
A bad delay on the phone.
Yeah, that's why we're probably going to have to end this. We wanted to just throw you in there for a minute, though.
No, I appreciate it, fellas. You guys take care, and either one of you fellas going to be in Birmingham, Alabama?
No.
No. My next one's
No.
Is there a march?
in Austin.
Oh, you're doing Austin? Yeah, go figure. Of
Listen to
course,
this.
Fuck ass.
I like the swearing, but the conversation has to go.
Fellas, you guys take care, okay?
All right, Jim, thanks. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
Let's see if this works on the hang-up. Because I don't want to hang up or else Davin will be gone.
I'm still here.
Ah, well, there you go. And he's gone. Boy, we're going to have to...
How did I get a midget reputation? What the fuck?
I don't know.
It could be worse.
But we're going to have to trim out 39 minutes to 43. Because that was shitty. All right, where were we? We were with Don Cherry in Regina.
Right.
How does he not know that Regina is an actual place?
Maybe they don't have auto shows there. Maybe they're all on hovercrafts by now or something. Or
they could be.
maybe it might be on sled dogs.
Right. Okay. Where were we? Anywhere interesting, or is that it?
No.
We were talking about porn. What else?
Okay, well, let's talk about the evolution of... so we discovered magazines.
Yeah.
And then video. I happened to work at a video store, so I had access to porn at a young age on video and didn't have to pay for it, which was nice. But there was all girls working there, so it was always kind of embarrassing.
He's trying to sneak him out in his overcoat.
No, I'd have to check him out. The manager would have to be the one to check us out at that time. This is before I was a manager, but that used to be embarrassing. But I didn't care. After a while, I didn't care because it was like it was there, and I had the chance to watch it. Then,
all the guys used to go to the porn store on the day Mike was working, so they wouldn't be embarrassed.
Right. Oh, and the funny thing, this is fun. This is funny too. Is we used to have lots of. I'm not going to name names, but city officials, teachers, people's parents. They would come in, especially on Sundays. These men would come in. They would go in the porn room, rent their movies, be right there when I opened at 9:30, 10 o'clock, whatever time I opened. And by 11:30, they were bringing them back, and they would take a stack of 6 of them sometimes. And I was like, "How would you watch 6 porns?" But I figured it out later what was going on. No. And then the funny thing is, a lot of times, this was a game we used to play at the video store where people would bring stuff back, and I'm sure we weren't the only ones that did this. When people would leave, and if there was nobody in the store, usually they didn't rewind the porn because that was probably the moment that that was the payoff shot for them. So we would always be like, let's see what got him. And we'd pop the porn if there was nobody in the store and see what scene got him. We used to think that was so funny, and then we'd have to rewind them all. But we never charged rewind fines to them. The Be Kind rewind stickers that used to be on them all. But that was always a fun little game to see where...
There was a deal. You had to rewind or else you get a fine.
Yeah, we charged 50 cents.
50 cents to rewind it.
I know. And we had about 4 video rewinders, and those video rewinders broke so quick.
Oh, yeah, I got to return Romancing the Bone to you guys, too.
Yeah.
I still have it. Yeah, right.
No, but... and then after that was the computer age.
Yeah.
The computer age came in and pretty much started with pictures because there wasn't these wonderful tube sites they have now and et cetera. But, and all you had were the little floppy disks, and I think you could fit maybe if you were lucky, 6 pictures on a floppy disk if you wanted to save them to show your buddies or something. No.
Hey, I got some new pictures of some horse and midget porn that I have on my
but that was a
archive of 6 floppy disks.
But that's just weird, the evolution of the internet, how it went from the early 90s to where we are now. It's just, it's it's like a battleground out there now. It's like,
It's a battleground trying to find porn.
no, it's not a battle. It's easy. It's the easiest thing on earth. But but it's like
The porn industry is dead.
and the internet has killed it.
Davin, there's no job for you anymore.
Well, the magazine portion of the porn industry is definitely dead.
Yeah.
The golden age.
They're still making movies, but the thing is, it's not like it used to be. You don't get the story movies anymore. It's all Gonzo. It's all.
Do they have magazines anymore? I don't even know.
I don't. Playboy still comes out. Penthouse still comes out.
They still have them. I don't know where to get them.
I'm just wondering who buys them. And I'm sure a Hustler is like $10 now, or maybe $12. I mean, and it's all advertising.
So your dad had a subscription to Playboy, Davin, and so did Mike's dad.
Yep.
Mike tricked us though by lying.
We had boxes and boxes of. I mean, he subscribed for probably close to 20 years, and I used to always get excited when it was like.
It was the third day of the month or something. It was like your welfare check.
Well, they would advertise certain people and be like, "Oh my God, Madonna's going to be in Playboy. I can't wait till that episode." That subscription shows up.
Yeah.
See, I was always a Penthouse fan. My dad didn't get it. Now I know Jerry's dad had a subscription.
Hey! Does he want you to tell things?
Well, you said my dad had Playboy.
Yeah, but this is the deal. Mike used to tell us that when we were younger, but he used to say, "Yeah, my dad just gives them to me," which turned out to be not exactly true.
Later it did because I'm up till about a year or so ago. I got Playboy until about a year ago when Playboy has turned into Maxim, basically. I mean, it's Maxim with some nudity. It's not a fun magazine. Just like Maxim, so for some reason I've been getting Maxim sent to my house for 5 years for free. I never ordered it; it just comes, and it just ran out, and they started it up for another 3 years. So I have no idea what list I'm on, but I'm getting Maxim for free. But it's not really, other than looking at the girls. There's nothing. I'm not I'm a 47-year-old guy. I'm not going to be going out on the latest, skateboards or whatever they're advertising. Or I mean, it's the same.
Skateboards.
And the same with Playboy. Playboy is like a rich Playboy, like a rich man's magazine now. It's like I can't afford a $5,000 stereo system.
That's what it always was.
Yeah, I know it was, but even the girls aren't that exciting, and they're like girls have kind of been pushed to the back in Playboy now. That's why I stopped it. It was just like.
Well,
so you're saying the articles aren't good anymore?
The articles actually are pretty good.
I used to read it
sometimes.
for the articles. No.
I'll be honest with you. I still get Rolling Stone too, and Rolling Stone really isn't a music magazine anymore. The best articles in Rolling Stone are usually non-music.
Well, they were always political, though.
Especially when they're made up.
Yeah.
About rape and college campuses.
Oh yeah. I remember.
That was a recent story.
Yeah, I just read that in the editorial about how they're standing behind their story and no one is losing their job over there.
Well, I remember a tactic that one of the guys. I used to live in this house with a few other guys that we all chipped in and paid the rent, and I remember one of them had a subscription to Playboy, and he would always put it out on the coffee table in the living room. And I'd be like, "You want that out on the coffee table? We have people coming over, a bunch of girls coming over." He goes, "You watch and see what happens when they come over." Every girl that came in the house would always go right for the magazines and pick them up. And I'm going, "Damn, he was right. Girls love Playboy."
One of the guys I used to travel with, we used to have to bunk up on certain shows, different rooms.
That sucks.
Yeah, and he had gone in, he was rooming with one of the lighting guys, and I'm not going to mention any names, but he went in the bathroom to take a shower, and then he realized that he left his necessities kit in his suitcase in his bedroom. So he started the shower, steps out of the shower into the kitchen area of I think it was Residence Inn or whatever.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
And his roommate's masturbating in front of his bowl of Cheerios. It's like private time.
That's horrible.
Life on the road.
Why'd you have to put that in my brain now? That image. That's never going to leave.
just to make you angry.
Now I'm picturing Jim Broderick on the road.
Oh, no.
Sorry, Jim. Who would bring porn on the road?
Yeah, no. You don't need to bring it. It's online.
You imagine back in the day, guys flying around having Playboy magazine in their suitcase. Well, nobody ever checked luggage before. That's
Well, you imagine they would pull it out on the plane and read it.
You could have a brick of cocaine in there in 1975. Nobody would give a shit.
Do you think? I mean, I don't know if it's. Do you think people would pull it out on the plane and read it? I mean,
I don't know.
Like just a regular magazine, I mean,
I don't want them to pull it out on the plane and read it and then pull it out.
No,
no good.
Probably wouldn't be a good idea.
This is the porn episode. I warned you, everybody. It's probably not as good as you thought. They probably thought you were going to get some sort of sexual gratification out of this episode, but it's not happening.
That was a dark night, and this beautiful blonde walked out.
Oh, you're going to read us one of those forum stories? You remember the penthouse forum stories?
Yeah, those were interesting. I forgot about that. That's a whole other thing, too. When you got bored with the pictures, you started doing the reading. You know, it was just, you know, I used to find those sometimes in my dad's sock drawer, too, you know, and it's like, what are these, you know? And the thing is that they were just so ridiculous, these stories. The things that you could never imagine at that age, you know?
Well, that's because they were written by fiction writers.
Right, exactly. But it just, at that young age, you probably thought they were true.
I was taking a shower in my hotel room, and I walked out, and my roommate, who was a hot blonde, was by the Cheerios. Right.
No, it was...
Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch.
God.
King Vitamin.
When I think of one of Davin's great lines talking about a coworker that we won't name, Steve Stinson, he said to him, because this guy, he had to leave the road for some reason, and so he wanted...
For about 30 years.
Yeah, he wanted us to go clean out his hotel room because he was yanked away to the police, and he's like, you got to go clean out my room and put it in my car and drive my car back to Detroit, and I told Davin that on the phone, and he goes, I don't know. All I can think about when I think of his hotel room is sticky. I'm like, I'm not going in there. There's no way I'm doing that.
And then finding out why he went away for 30 years made it even worse.
Right. Well, it's all public record, so can't really... I don't want to talk about it, though.
I'll take your word for it.
Just use your imagination.
Right.
Yeah. It wasn't very safe. It was pretty unsavory.
Let's jump back to movies for a moment.
Shall we?
Do you remember the days when a film would come out, a blockbuster film, let's say one of the new Star Wars films or Superman, and there would be a line up out the door around the building? You would wait for a couple hours to buy tickets.
They do that
and
still.
Sometimes it would sell. Does that really happen anymore?
Yeah, like you wait for the new Star Wars movie to come out in December or whatever it is, and you'll see the same thing.
But but people can pre-buy tickets now, like a month in advance. It's kind of
you can do it online. But people do. You know what? People do that for the nostalgia of it.
Right.
I think. You know,
I haven't seen it myself in a long time, but it's just I just wondered if they would actually sometimes for the bigger films they'd be like going to a rock concert. They'd have a tour book for that movie that you could buy in the lobby. It would be a picture book.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And you could buy that. You could buy T-shirts sometimes. For a movie. You know what I mean?
Movie swag.
Yeah, it would just be in the whole movie. There were always long movies. You had to hold it. And by the time you got home, your fingerprints were all over it, and your sweat was all over it. Well, mine was because I always had sweaty hands.
Sweaty hand. Pornography and sweaty hands.
Uh-oh. I'll think of the money I saved on lube. No,
stupid.
That's
kidding.
Gross. I'm kidding. Surely I jest.
What is... Davin, you deal with swag a lot. We do in our business because corporations always give away stuff. What is swag? What does that mean?
I don't know.
I have no clue why it's called swag. For a while, I thought it meant sealed with a gift or sent with a gift. Like you would leave the show and you were sent with a gift.
Oh, that could make sense.
We'll have to look that up because it's got to be an acronym for something.
Yeah. Maybe somebody can tell us online. Somebody on the Facebook page or something. You name it, podcast Facebook page you can go to and
something
yell at
we
us.
can give you so we can email you from now until eternity and
it used to be better.
You with all these ads.
Like they used to just give you shit. You go to the auto show. You go there and they'd give shit away to people. But now you have to give them all of your information.
Well, one thing they don't give you is free snacks at the movies. Devin, what was your favorite snack when you go to the movies?
My favorite snack were those snow caps.
Snow caps.
I like snow caps. Yeah, I never bought them, but it was. I know what I get that.
You think I'm pronouncing his name wrong?
What?
Davin.
Devin. Did I say Devin?
Yeah.
Devin.
Everybody gets it wrong. That's all right.
He's got the worst name in history.
Yeah, I'm never gonna get it.
I was waiting for you to yell at me for that one.
There's a bar here that does this name night.
Yeah.
Every night of the week, and they pick 5 names, and if your name is that name, you get to drink for free that night.
Right.
My name will never be on it.
Nope. You'll never find a keychain either, or a bumper sticker.
It's like Slice of the 80s, or one of those pizza places always has a sign out. Happy's or something always has a sign out. with a name each week, and that person gets a free pizza if that's your name that night or something.
I want a pizza now. Damn it. You're making me hungry. Anyway.
Well, you can probably get pizza at the movie theater now. It looks like you have a 4-course meal now at the movie theater. So, I mean, that's what it appears.
Yeah, you'll spend $80.
Yeah,
but
I know. It's just, I mean,
Yeah.
I know there's places like Alamo Draft House, and I think there's one in Ann Arbor, I think. They haven't come out this way. But that's, dinner and a movie kind of situation.
Yeah, well, I went to one of those.
Oh, did you go?
It was in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Right.
Isn't it North Carolina? Yeah. And I went with our friend Frank Mojica, Davin.
Oh.
And it was one of those things where you could sit down. The seats had a little table that was sort of like in between. There'd be 2 comfy seats with a table in between. You could order dinner, a full meal. Luckily, we didn't because I didn't want to wait that long for Frank to ask his gluten-free questions.
Right.
The hitman Jesus.
I get that.
I bet Frank's not listening, but I'm hoping he is right now.
I'm a very picky eater at restaurants now, too, so I get the gluten-free stuff.
Okay, so I read this. One of the things that the You Name It show does is references a place called Mental Floss, which is a magazine, real informative, a bunch of stuff you don't need to know, but a bunch of useless information, really. And I just read an article about food myths, and the most interesting one I almost forwarded to you, Davin, was about gluten-free. It says that there are 0 health benefits for anyone to eat gluten-free unless they have celiac disease or are actually physically allergic to it.
Right.
Otherwise, you have 0 health benefits to eat anything gluten-free.
Right.
So
that's one of the tests I'm getting done right now to see if I am celiac.
Oh, we got another one now.
Well, if that's the situation, it'll solve my problem, hopefully, and make,
But I don't want to beat up on Frank. Frank is already aware that his questions everywhere you go are I don't know, how do you describe that?
Well, you should see me at Disney when I order a meal. I mean, I pretty much the chef makes me my own meal. They're accommodating like that, but I know it's annoying to the people I'm with when I'm eating.
Get him, Davin.
What I don't get is all these kids that have these peanut allergies.
Yeah.
We're on flights, and they've got peanuts on flights all the time.
You haven't heard that? They've taught.
Did they ever not serve peanuts on flights?
Yeah, I just had a flight like that. They said, we have a passenger who has a peanut allergy, so there will be no peanut products on flight.
Yeah.
And please, if you brought any, refrain from opening them and asking everybody not to do it. And I had just bought a big bag of peanuts, too, and I'm like, damn you.
I work at a school with children, and some of our students do have peanut allergies. And there's certain areas, certain halls where there can't be peanuts even in that hall. In that
do they
corridor.
have adult schools? Because
what's it?
I work at a school with children.
Well, I could say I could work at a school with adults.
Adult education, maybe. I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to deal with a lot more than that, though. Mike gets puked on and shit on and everything.
Well, it's worth it. I mean,
I was waiting. It's a living.
It's a living. No, not so much.
You've got a lot of patience to do that.
Well, they're wonderful kids. I enjoy working with them.
I'm not making fun of the kids. I'm making fun of you.
No, I know. Yeah.
Anyway, you were going to go on to tell us what your favorite snack was.
Oh, yes. I always was a big hot tamales fan. And I don't know if it was you, or were you the one that turned me on to the hot tamales and popcorn mixture?
I've never heard of it.
Oh, okay. Hot tamales and popcorn together is fantastic.
Get out of here.
Oh, it's great. It's really great. But I was always a hot tamale fan. That and goobers I always liked, but I was pretty much was a hot tamale fan.
Weird.
So, and I know you used to order something, but I don't remember.
Screaming Yellow Zonkers?
Screaming Yellow Zonkers. Did they have those back then?
Yeah, they had them. And then I would get...
you were so happy when you said that.
I know. I was waiting for it just so I could say Screaming Yellow Zonkers. Best candy name ever.
Son of a gun.
But we would sneak shit in, though, because, all right, if people don't know, back in the day, you couldn't bring your own stuff in. Yeah. So you're always trying to
I don't think they look highly on it now.
Well, you could probably get away with a grocery bag walking in. They don't care.
Oh, yeah.
But back then it was like the movie police. You had real ushers that would come around and yell at you if you're doing something wrong. It was like the movie,
I remember the usher's name, but I don't know if I'm going to say it.
But you'd have to really struggle to sneak stuff in. And we would stop. Mike and I would go and stop at a few places before the movies. Like Day Old Bakery was one of them.
Yeah.
But I would get Fiddle Faddle. That's another good one.
and cream horns.
But yeah, we'd go to this bakery with this old like Greek guy or something that would
Son of a gun, son of a gun.
we named him Son of a
It's a
Gun because
bargain.
he wouldn't quit saying Son of a Gun when you were in there.
He was just so desperate to sell us stuff. It'd be like, 3 for $1, son of a gun, son of a gun. You can't beat it. You can't beat it.
Great deal.
And he was,
Son of a gun.
And he was 2 doors down from the Parisienne, from the theater.
Yeah.
So that's what made it nice.
We're sneaking in cream puffs and cream horns and stuff.
Oh, it was great. It was just like, I don't know. We also had a place next to the theater called Hilda's, which was a
head shop.
a head shop. But they also sold novelties. So every week I could go in there and buy like the fake dog poop or fake vomit. And my parents, they got used to it. They acted like they were surprised. The fake ketchup with the string shoots out and all that.
Let's see if there's a theme here. Davin, did you have a novelty store in your neighborhood?
Actually, by my grandmother's house, we had one of those old, it wasn't novelty, but the old candy stores.
Oh, yeah.
With the soda fountains.
Well, we've found a theme here. We had a Grindhouse theater next door to a pothead store that sold novelties in Garden City.
Hilda's Boutique.
Maybe you guys were right about that East Side, West Side thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm in Denver, and one of the shops that sells marijuana is right next to a 7-Eleven.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And 2 doors down is a Taco Bell.
Perfect.
Like the perfect
Yeah.
location.
Perfect.
It's like that girl that got in trouble for setting up her, Girl Scout cookie stand outside of a dispensary, and she was getting more sales than anyone else. And the
She got in
other
trouble for
moms
that? For being a good economic choice?
Yeah, the other moms complained and said it wasn't right and tried to get her kicked out of the troop.
I can't even tell you how mad I am hearing that right now.
That's kind of silly.
That just pisses me off to no end that the girl made a really good decision and sold more than everybody else, and they're pissed off because of where it was at.
She was chasing that dream.
She wasn't buying weed and taking it to the Girl Scouts. She was selling them cookies.
Selling it to
It's the small businessman that always takes it in the ass.
Yep.
You know, everything would be just great if everybody would just quit fucking me. Stupid. Being all loud. Well, that was a wonderful show. What happened?
There is, just to let you know, there is in Clawson, and I go there every Christmas.
Yeah, the dog's barking.
There's an old place called Doc Sweets. They have all the old candy and the vintage candy that we used to have as kids, Zods and all that other stuff.
Wow.
Those places, we've had a couple open up in this area, but they never last. They last maybe a couple months and they're gone.
Yeah, maybe I'll drive my diabetic car over there and check it
There's
out.
places online too. I actually order from a couple places online that have the old vintage candy.
Screaming Yellow Zonkers?
Well, the Idaho potato. The Idaho potato is a fantastic candy bar, and I guess it's from Idaho. Obviously,
The Idaho potato.
It's really a good candy bar. It's got everything in the 7-Up. I don't know if you ever heard of a 7-Up.
I want all of them.
7
now.
different kinds of candy in this. It's cool.
I'll tell you what's not good.
What?
Vegemite.
I've never had Vegemite.
And the reason why it's related to candy is that I was doing a show where the speaker was from Australia, and he had Vegemite with these like Australian cookies. So like these, whatever, you like the Delta ones they give you on the plane, you know, Davin?
Yeah.
Like the cinnamon and sugar cookies or whatever. So I'm thinking, oh, this must be really good. You taste that shit. That shit's horrible.
What did he do? Just smile? Did he just smile and give you a Vegemite sandwich?
He did. He just smiled. Stupid. I had to hear that.
The Delta ones are ginger cookies or ginger snaps or
I think
whatever the hell.
they're cinnamon and sugar. I don't think they're ginger.
Some
think
ginger,
they're ginger.
Some ginger snaps have a little kick to them.
I think I'm going to call you that from now on, Davin. Ginger Snap.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Just to fish you off.
You made me think of a wonderful film series, the Ginger werewolf films.
Ginger Snap's back.
Yep, Ginger Snaps back. And
No, well, anyway, the Vegemite, do you guys know what it is?
I know what it is. I just never had it. Never had the opportunity.
It looks good. It's like a little syrupy-looking mixture that you think might be sweet, but then you taste it, and it's like bitter, horrible, vegetable-based something or other. I don't even-
Australian
it's
something, yeah.
terrible.
Oh, they eat it like it's going out of
I
style.
know, they make sandwiches according to the song. But they wanted you to dip these cookies into it, and it was terrible. It'd be like dipping cookies into malt vinegar or something.
Hey, are any of those milks that are made out of nuts, or any of those good, like the cashew silk milk or any of that shit?
Well, you
I don't know.
got an expert right here. Okay. I like soy milk is good, but almond milk is absolutely fantastic. And they come in different varieties. You can have chocolate, you can have vanilla, regular.
But they're sugared up.
They're very good. But no, there's unsweetened. There's also unsweetened versions now too.
All right.
But the cashew you just asked about, cashew is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And I have no problem with any soy products because I can't. I'm lactose intolerant. I can't eat or I can't drink or eat that kind of stuff. But the soy is absolutely. I'm sorry. The cashew is terrible.
Okay.
But I would love to see. Now they're doing it with every kind of nut now. So I would love to see somebody do it with pistachio, which might sound gross.
Why don't you drink some milk from my nuts?
And
Oh,
Come on! I had to do it. He kept pitching it to me. I had to hit it.
Or what's the Hawaiian nut? I can't think of the name.
I don't know. What is the
really
Hawaiian
good? The
nut?
really good ones, the real rich ones.
Macadamia.
Macadamia. I would love to try macadamia milk, but the cashew. I tried it just to try it. The lady at Kroger even told me. In fact, her words were, "It tastes like garbage." So, and she's the lady who runs the health food department, and she has to drink that kind of stuff too.
See what you got him into, Gavin, with your simple question.
Yes. Almond is what I recommend. Almond is excellent. So
okay.
Why did you want to know?
Almond dark chocolate especially is fantastic.
I have no idea. You kept telling me no dead air, and so I had to come up with something.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yep.
You really filled out the show with that one.
Let's talk about almond milk and porn.
I like to drink almond milk while I watch porn.
I have had
almond milk and porn. That's your new name.
We all get new names. I had to. No, you threw me off.
They call me Almond Dick.
God. I had to think.
I just insulted myself.
What is your porn name? Because it's what it is your first name or your middle name and the street you grew up on as a kid.
Is it the middle name in that street? I know the street.
Well,
no, it wasn't. It's your dog, your first dog's name, and the street you grew up. And that's how I heard.
No, that's how I heard it too.
Yeah, I heard the dog thing. And that would make mine be Roxy Merriman.
Mine would. And mine works out really good. Mine is.
Are you all right over there?
Sorry, I'm choking on something. I'm sorry. Mine would be Snoopy Birchwood.
That is a good name.
What do you got, David?
If I went with a dog, it would be Buffy Babcock.
You win.
But if I went with my middle name, it would be John Babcock.
Buffy Babcock.
Mine would be Alan Birchwood. I sound like a British guy. I'm Alan Birchwood.
Well, we all have the weird references too. If I went to the street because I was only on Merriman for a year or something. Then I went to Elmwood, so it would have been Scott Elmwood.
Mine would have jumped to Burnley,
but it has wood in there. So
yeah. You still got the wood.
Boy, did you just wreck the show.
I thought it was pretty interesting.
No, that's. I think it's good, and I think that's about it because we've now matched the time we did the last time you guys were guesting. So.
Oh, awesome.
So there we are. We had another edition. We got to get this done so the dog will quit barking. I don't even know why the dog's barking.
Share it. Share it. Everyone share it.
Maybe her feet hurt.
Thank you. Share it. Share with your friends. Thanks, and come back again next week for another edition.
Please come back and see us, folks.
All right. Goodbye.
Goodbye.